So one of the ways that we can do that is getting kids to share their thinking. So we are going to drop into breakout rooms in a minute, but first, if you did see the intro video, we did talk about this routine, ways to make, or how many ways, for a little bit, but it's really a number sense routine that helps kids to make connections, helps them think about problems differently, and see relationships between the way they think about it and the way their classmates think about it. So I do like this routine because it translates very well to a synchronous or asynchronous environment. So the idea here is, and this template is something you can use, just change the number in the middle. But the idea is that we would, on poster paper or in a Google Classroom on a slide, create something that looks like this in a sense, maybe just a number in the middle. But we've got 3.5, and we're going to ask students, how can you make 3.5? Like, what are the ways that you can think of making up 3.5? So what I'd like you guys to do, I'd like everybody to do, is just think about that for a second. What's one way you could come up with making 3.5? And type that into the chat. And go ahead and hit return. You can just start populating the chat. If you can think of more than one way, go for it. So we see 7/2, 7/2, 7 times 5/10, 2 plus 1 and 5/10, 3 plus 1/2, 4 minus 1/2. We see some multiplication, some addition, subtraction, 3 wholes and 1/2, 14/4. Nice. Okay. 2 plus 1/2, 4 3/4, and 1/2. So you can do this with your class as well, or you could even ask them to share it out, you know, one at a time while you're recording on a poster paper behind you, or however you want to do that. But it gets them to see, once you have all of these populated, it gets them to see that there's a lot of different ways to make up this one number, you know. And if you do have kids that are maybe third graders that have a little bit more solid understanding of multiplication already, they may do some things that other kids don't have as strong a grasp of, and that's going to give them an opportunity to start to think about those answers that, you know, are different than their own. And so one of the extensions, the next thing you would want to do is ask students, because I'm going to step back a second. As you're recording, you would want to record anything, even if it's incorrect, kind of like number talks, if you're familiar with that. Because if you do end up with a couple up there that are incorrect, the next step is to ask the students whether or not they agree with all of the solutions that have been proposed. And so this is an excellent way to build number sense with students, because they have to be kind of critical observers of the solutions that their classmates have provided. So in order to do that, they've got to look at each problem and see if it makes sense to them. And they can bring up ones that don't and challenge those and ask, you know, and ask some questions about them. Another way, or another extension that I've seen in classrooms that works really well is to choose one of the, maybe one of the solutions that a child shared, like this repeated addition of 1/2. Maybe one of those solutions is something that really aligns with what you're teaching at the time. And you could ask the students to take that solution and, either with manipulatives or a drawing, draw out what that solution looks like. And to them, you know, maybe they're going to draw out circles and cut them into 7/2, that kind of thing. But that gives them another way to take that abstract idea back to the concrete, and it solidifies it a little bit more for them. They could also do the same thing, or they could identify maybe ones they don't understand as well, so that you can go a little bit further with those solutions if it aligns with what you're working on at the time, or if you want to just do that as an extension activity.